So the first legs of the EFL playoffs have been completed. The first legs of the Championship, League 1 and League 2 games have all been completed. So after this, guys, I wanted to go through these matches and just kind of update you with who is likely to go to Wembley and who is looking like the favourites to be promoted from their respective divisions. So we'll start with the Championship and work our way down to League 1 because all of these games were played over this weekend between Thursday night and Sunday night as well. And the first of these matches was between Bristol City and Sheffield United. Now, you guys know that I'm a Sheffield United fan, and if you watched my video going over who I thought was going to be promoted from the playoffs, I did back my lads to actually go up, but I did not think we'd win this comfortably. A 3-0 away victory against Bristol City. We absolutely battered them, as it turned out. Both matches in the league in the regular season were very close affairs. It was a very tight 2-1 victory down at Ashton Gate, and at Bramall Lane as well, at our ground. I mean, it was a 1-1 draw, but, you know, Bristol City really should have won that. I thought, if anything, they were the better side. But yeah, it could have been worse for Bristol City, in fairness, even though it was 3-0. There was a disallowed goal in the first half for Sidney Peck being offside and potentially blocking the Bristol City defender from trying to clear a header from, I think it was Kiefer Moore, if I remember correctly, although I could be mistaken by that. But anyway, yeah, that was a contentious one. Personally, for me, I mean, I'll be as, kind of objective as I can with that. I do think it was harshly disallowed, but I understand why the referee disallowed it. You can't say for sure if the defender was going to get back without Sidney Peck there blocking him. We don't know. So I think, they usually err on the side of caution with these sort of things. We do see that in the Premier League. Some people saying that if we had VAR, it might have been a different decision. I don't think it would have been. I think they would have probably still disallowed it, to be honest. But in any case, the game absolutely turned when Rob Dickey lived up to his last name, really, and made himself look like a bit of an idiot. He absolutely took out Kiefer Moore. Last man, red card, penalty. And I know that some people are saying it was never a penalty, it was harsh, but he was the last man. He made no attempt to play the ball. He took out our attacker through on goal. I don't know what you have to do to get a red card if that's not a red card. That is a clear, aside from it being violent conduct, I don't know what more he could have done to get sent off, but Harrison Burrows dispatched the penalty, go in at half-time, and then make a triple substitution. Andre Bucks and Callum O'Hare both coming on and both changing the game in our favour. Absolutely just realistically ending this as a contest. I mean, I'm saying this slightly apprehensively. I'm going to the second leg tonight at Bramall Lane, but yeah, I do think that we should really make it through with that. Bristol City, I mean, they've had a good season, making the playoffs for them, I think, was a bit unexpected. They are a perennial side that normally finishes solid mid-table in the Championship. So to make the playoffs like they did on the final day, fair play to them. But unfortunately, they have come unstuck there with that. They would have to absolutely hope for a miracle tonight in Sheffield to be able to make the playoff final there. But let's talk about the other game, Coventry City and Sunderland. And this was played on Friday night. And, Coventry for a while were one of the form teams of the division. Sunderland certainly not one of the form teams in the division coming into this one. They were absolutely floundering. I think 4 losses in the previous 5 matches. The Black Cats were in absolutely terrible form, but I mean, look at the score. Look at the scoreline. You can see it on the screen. 2-1 to Sunderland, and to be honest, they probably deserved it. They were very effective on the counter-attack. I mean, possession-wise, they had none of the ball, but they just absolutely did Coventry on the counter-attack. Cov did have opportunities to score another goal, of course. They could have easily gone into this one, into the second leg up at Sunderland level, but yeah, they didn't take the chances, and there was some good saves in there. There's some good defending in there from Sunderland. They absolutely weathered the storm, and they're looking like the heavy favourites to make it through to the final at Wembley. It's not over yet, of course. There's only 1 goal in it, but yeah, going up to the Stadium Light and trying to get a victory, which admittedly has been quite easy for some sides recently. It's not out of the realms of possibility, but Coventry will be absolutely licking their wounds after that one. That is a terrible result for them. Let's move on to League 1. And there was controversy in the Saturday lunchtime kickoff. Leyton Orient against Stockport. Man, Stockport really should have won this. They were so unlucky not to win this. The goal from Kelman to open it for Orient, that was a mile offside. Now, I have to assume that the referee and the linesman, neither of them spotted that there was a flick on by the Leyton Orient defender, because when the ball is initially played in, nobody is offside, or at least the player that scores, Kelman, is not offside. However, when there's a flick on that goes to Kelman, he's about a yard or 2 offside, and he puts the ball into the back of the net. So I have to assume they didn't see that, but that really, it could cost Stockport. It could do. I mean, it's still a good result for them. They came back in the second half, Norwood with a penalty, Horsfall with another goal shortly after that. Kelman, though, with a penalty penalty of his own late on too to level it. I mean, this game is not over. Stockport still looking like the favourites, but they really, really should have won this one. It should have been a 2-1 victory or so to Stockport. So I feel for them on that one. But hey, they're in the playoffs. They finished third. What a season it has been for them in League One, and they could well be heading for their first campaign in the second tier of English football for over 20 years. It's been a very long time. Wycombe and Charlton. They played a match of football for 90 minutes and it was 0-0. Can't really say much else, to be honest. Nothing really happened in this. Much better result for Charlton, obviously, going into the second leg as the home side. But Wycombe still not out of it, of course. And let's talk about League Two. The final match is in. I did manage to watch this one live here. Notts County against AFC Wimbledon. Notts County had so many chances. They really should have scored, but they could not finish their dinner. They couldn't score. They were the better side in this, to be honest with you, but you don't take your chances, and that is very much going to cost you, and it did cost them. Riley Harbottle, the only goal of the game just before the hour mark for the Dons to send them down to Plough Lane with a 1-0 advantage. The tie is very much not over. There is only one goal in this, but it's not looking good for County. It really is not. But we'll see what happens. Wimbledon, they were effective. They were effective, like Sunderland in the Championship. They were effective in that one. They made the most of what they got, and they go into the second leg with a 1-0 lead, of course, as well. Notts County going down to 10 men right at the end of the game. Jatta with a very late red card there in the 95th minute. Now, this was a big shock as well. I mean, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be, given the the league performance overall of these two guys. But Walsall just missing out on automatic promotion, literally the last kick of the game. In fact, when they finished their match, I think they were promoted. But Bradford's game went on for so long. They scored so late in that match against Fleetwood Town that Walsall were condemned to the playoffs. But they're not looking condemned. They are looking like they are thriving. A 2-0 away victory against Chesterfield. Chesterfield with their first season back in League Two. They're doing very well to even make the playoffs, let's be honest here. Fair play to them for that. But it looks like they will go no further, unfortunately, for them. Taylor Allen with a penalty and Alfie Chang as well. Very good goal from Chang. I think it was an outside of the box hit from Chang there. So well done for him. And Walsall, they look like they're heading to Wembley. So right now, as things stand, it is, we didn't have a single, this must be a first time ever. We didn't have a single home victory in the first legs of the playoffs. Nobody playing at home won. In fact, I think everybody lost except... there were 2 draws in League One, weren't they? But yeah, both of the home sides in League Two and the Championship lost. So it is looking as though Walsall and Wimbledon will play each other in the playoff final in League Two. In League One, it's looking as though Charlton and Stockport County are the favourites in those, although there's not a lot between them. And in the Championship, the heavy favourites to make it through to Wembley are Sheffield United and Sunderland. But yeah, when these ties are all concluded, I will of course review it for you guys here on the channel. You're enjoying the playoff content. I am too, because it's the only EFL kind of content we've got right now. So yeah, make the most of it while we can, of course. And your thoughts in the comments below, guys. Are you expecting any of those sides that managed to get a draw or a victory away from home to slip up in the second leg? We'll see what happens with that. Your thoughts in the comments below. Like, share, comment, subscribe as always here on the channel, guys, and have a fantastic day wherever you are in the world today.